Let's make some matzo ball soup. I have a major PhD deadline coming up. I'm stressed out of my mind, which means I'm also not eating regular. So I decided to take a short break, make some soup, make enough for a couple of days, and show you how I make it. I've already boiled up some chicken, including the bones. I've saved the bones for the broth, and the chicken's gonna get shredded, but I'm having a vegetarian friend over for dinner, so tonight I'm also gonna make a vegetable broth. I'll save the chicken broth for myself later. As I'm sure you can imagine, it's not easy to get matzah meal here, so I start with matzah and a rolling pin. And then I channel my Midwestern mom. It ends up a bit lumpy this way, but it's actually really tasty. When I pop it in the mixing bowl, I like to give it an extra sort of massage with my hands to get the bigger lumps out. Now this is Jewish food, so I measure with my heart, not a measuring spoon. Some salt, some baking powder, the realization that my black pepper is still in peppercorn form. Midwestern mom, this is for you. Smells so good though. Some very freshly and coarsely ground black pepper. I'll save the rest for the broth. The chickens apparently were laying generously, so I'll just use 4 eggs because they're big. For both shell removal ease and Jewish culture, we crack it into an egg first. See, it makes it so much easier to remove the shell when I do that. The main reason is to check for blood spots, which would make it not kosher, as well as taking out that little bit of shell there. How do people crack eggs one-handed? I do not know. If you're a meat eater, make this with schmaltz or rendered chicken fat, but otherwise, vegetable oil works just fine. Some hearty glugs of vegetable oil. And you just want to mix this until it has kind of a paste consistency. Pop this in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. I use this time to do a quick cleanup, and now I'm going to go back to my schoolwork for a bit. I'm just going to leave that in there for several hours because it's at least 30 minutes and you just don't want it to go bad. And it will get stiff in the fridge, making it easier to mold. I forgot to show you the rest of the process, but then the PhD went sideways, so I'm making more today. At this point, hopefully your matzo ball dough is sitting in the fridge. Garlic, chop it fine, measure it with your heart. Celery, stalks, leaves, your choice. Parsley, dill, onion, and bay leaf. Additionally, if you want to use bouillon cubes, you can, but you don't have to. So let me just tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fry up the garlic in some oil until the oil gets nice and fragrant. Then I'm going to fill the pot with water. I know this sounds crazy, roll with it. Onion, cut in half. Bay leaf. Let this boil until the onion is basically ready to dissolve. Fish the onion and the bay leaf out. Now, depending on the texture you like, add your celery, add your parsley, add your carrots when you feel like it, how you feel it. Salt and or bouillon to taste. I like to add the dill last, but some people like to add it earlier. You're gonna take your matzo ball dough out of the fridge, and then you're gonna oil up your hands and make ping pong sized balls. Drop them in the broth. They're gonna puff up, they're gonna float, and let them just boil a bit because you want them to be filled with the soup. Give it at least 5 minutes. Got some broth going on here. I like it really herby. Fluffy matzo ball goodness.